Welcome to Behind the Wheel, a Toledo Jeep Fest original podcast. Today I've got with me one of my good friends and a huge supporter to Toledo Jeep Fest, Keri Porter, and we're going to talk about all things vendor Midway and staging for the Jeep Parade. So these are two big tasks, Keri, and I'm excited to get into it with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so the vendor Midway, it does not happen without a lot of effort and a lot of planning. Over 100 vendors. Pull back the curtain a little bit and tell people about what it's like to build a massive vendor Midway like this.
So the vendor Midway, we really want to attract, Jeep related vendors, right? Mm-hmm. Because the weekend's all about Jeep and we try to cater to the Jeep audience. So, it always starts off slow in the year, right? You're like, hey, are you returning? Hey, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden spring comes around and then they just start rolling in.
But you really curate and think about what the magic combination of vendors is, because Jeepers want to buy a lot of different things, right? People that attend the festival can traverse the vendor Midway and find so many different products. Even I'm impressed when I finally get a chance to go down the Midway and see all the different things that there are.
Yeah, we try to get a variety of vendors. We try to limit, maybe a few insurance people, maybe a few duck-related vendors, a couple of shirt or apparel vendors, and then we really try to focus in on bringing in vendors who have bolt-on parts for your Jeeps, vendors who provide lift kits, tires. Tires are always a big thing when you're buying parts for a Jeep. So we really try to make sure there's a variety of vendors throughout the whole vendor Midway.
Talk to me about folks that do installs and like real-time upgrades to Jeeps during the Jeep Fest weekend.
Yeah, so we do have a couple of audio vendors that have come that do installs. Everybody loves a good radio driving around town with their tap down and the radio blaring, so that's always important. This year we're having US Speedo, who's going to be doing installs. They specialize making plaques for the back of your dash cluster.
They're making one for our Jeep, for the Toledo Jeep Fest Jeep.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm excited to see that. See that get installed.
Talk to me about staging for the parade, because you and Paul, your husband Paul, you help set up the vendor Midway, which is a huge task. And then you also help usher in 1,400 Jeeps into the Owens Corning lot to stage for the parade every year.
So remember early days Toledo Jeep Fest, and we started off in the zoo, and then we would cater Jeeps, across town to get them downtown.
Yeah.
It's come a long way since then. So if you've been to early Jeep Fest and you haven't returned, it's time to come back, because our processes have improved over the years. But
thanks to you.
Not just me. You have tons of people who make great things happen at Toledo Jeep Fest. Once Owens Corning came on and they let us use their lot, it was then just seeing how we could optimize that space, get people in fast, get people in quickly,
right,
and then give them an opportunity to celebrate and have a good time before they head out down the parade.
Yeah, let's talk about having a good time. So the Owens Corning lot, you have a call time, you get in there, you get set, and we heard years ago that, they're kind of stuck. Like, what is there to do? And so over the years, you've worked really hard to make sure there's food for them and all the things back there.
Yeah, so you can get your breakfast, you can get your early lunch if you prefer some lemonade or coffee. We have tons of bathrooms, so that's not an issue. And there's a couple of vendors down there who may be selling shirts or something like that. I think the Toledo Jeep Fest shirts.
We have an official store out there.
Yeah. We also have a DJ who keeps the atmosphere fun. Dana walks around and hands out their flags for the parade. So everybody's just has this upbeat vibe. They're excited. They're taking pictures on their vehicle. Other people are playing their own music. It's just a fun, party atmosphere before we head out.
It really is. You make sure that it's fun, but then that it's all orderly.
Yeah.
And we don't just have big Wranglers and Gladiators out there. Jeep Fest is for everybody. Any kind of Jeep can go in the parade, and you don't necessarily have to go off-roading on the weekend and be hardcore to enjoy the Jeep Fest parade, right?
No, absolutely not. People tend to come to the parade with their Jeep all sparkly and clean. We do have a couple that come in with, the mud from their last weekend trip or whatever all over their vehicle. But we've had Renegades. We've had classics in the parade. We've had military themed. There's a lot of themed Jeeps in the parade. People do Disney characters or
I love it.
Their favorite Marvel characters or whatever. A lot of themes.
Do you have a favorite that you saw last year? Or there's so many, but is there one that you get excited to see every year?
There's so many I can't say.
I was looking at the Jurassic
I
Park
love
Jeep
the
the other
old
day, and that was
ones.
pretty cool.
I love the old ones, and I love the old trucks. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of old ones in the parade? Because I know Jerry has inside the convention center a lot of the older vehicles, and then a lot of older vehicles have chosen to be in our park and shine because they're worried about overheating or things like that. But does the parade still see a decent amount of older vehicles?
I think so, yeah. I would say it's probably under 50, but it's enough to definitely sit around and wait for to see because there's
Yeah.
some pretty fascinating vehicles coming through the parade. The Jeep concept vehicles, will those be there this year? Or,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Stellantis
that's
is
always
bringing
fun
some
to see,
concept
too.
vehicles. So
Those
those
are
will be in the
fun.
parade. Those will be
Yeah.
on the vendor midway. Some of them will be inside the Glass City Center. So we're going to sprinkle them around.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Good, good. Those are always good to see.
Yeah, having Jeep as a big title sponsor this year is huge, but they're doing some special things, including, and I'll just tease this, but it's not really public knowledge yet, so don't tell anybody. But I've heard that maybe a Jeep honor badge is in Jeep Fest's future.
Oh, that could be very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that will be a crowd pleaser, and those are free, and you just have to like go on their app.
Yeah, you have to check in on the Badge of Honor app. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people love those badges. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be fun and exciting. Tell me about your experience with your very early years of Toledo Jeep Fest, because you have been a part of the Glass City Crawlers for a long time. They are a group that help the Toledo Jeep Fest team put on Jeep Fest every year. I'm really grateful for all the support that the Glass City Crawlers have given us over the years, but much of that was under your and Paul's leadership. And so again, it means a lot, but tell us what it was like for you to get involved with Jeep Fest.
So it's funny when Jeep Fest popped up because Paul and I had probably been talking for a year, maybe 2 years, that, we would really love to see a big Jeep event come to Toledo because it is home of the Jeep, right?
Yeah.
And we felt like we had there's a big community, Jeep community within the city, right?
Yes.
I mean, obviously with the
Huge.
Glass City Crawlers,
Yeah.
it's 250, 300 families, So, yeah, so when Toledo Jeep Fest popped up and they were asking for help or for input or whatever, we wanted to be there. We wanted to be a part of it. So it's just fun to see how much it's changed over the years. I mean, we're still a part of Glass City Crawlers and we go to meetings and events when we can. It's my family, but it's fun to see that torch be passed to other people and to see the club thriving and, Jeep Fest thriving. And it's just fun to see and fun to know that you're a part of that from the beginning.
Yes, well, you've been a huge part of it. And speaking of traveling and wearing many hats, you do indeed wear many hats. So you help us with Toledo Jeep Fest on Jeep Fest weekend, and in the summer leading up to Jeep Fest, you help recruit vendors by going out to SEMA and Smoky Mountain and different places, and you're talking about Jeep Fest all over the country. But you also have some other really successful projects, and I was wondering if you could share those with the listeners.
Sure. Yeah. So my husband and I own Discover 4x4 Adventures, a business that we started in 2021 based around four-wheel drive adventures. We're not just limited to Jeeps, although, Jeeps are our favorite vehicle. Right. But we do cater to a broad audience, and we teach people how to use their four-wheel drive vehicle in classes, and then we take them on adventure trips.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you have a woman angle, right? And we're two
do.
gals sitting in here. So
Yeah.
I would be remiss to not ask you about your focus on women.
Yeah, so that actually started with the club, when we were part of Glass City Crawlers. What really actually started as an event with me and my girlfriends just going away for a weekend and taking our vehicles with us and just having a girls' weekend.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it started. It was like 6 of us. And then when we got involved with Glass City Crawlers and, Paul was the president, I really wanted to develop an event for the women in the club because we were really starting to draw a women audience into the club.
Yes.
So Women's Wheeling Weekend is an event that I host twice a year, once at Wind Rock Park in Tennessee, and then the next one this year will be at S'more in Missouri. But it's just a weekend event. It's catered. It's, your stays included. And
I really want to go.
Long.
You invite me every year and I haven't gone yet. So
let me know when you're ready.
yes, I'm committed to go. I just need to find a time that my 9-year-old will let me leave the house. So people always are surprised at the fact that so many women are into Jeeps. When I look at my social media, for example, my audience is half men and half women. When I go to Jeep Fest, it really is divided between men and women, and not even to mention the demographics between older folks and younger folks and so on. But this isn't a guy thing. This is a girl thing too. I mean, the love of Jeep is non-gender.
Absolutely. I remember as a kid playing with my Barbie. She had a Jeep and she had a tent and she had a jet ski.
Yes.
You know? So I imagine there's probably many other women my age who had that same, experience growing up. But it wasn't until Jeep developed the four-door Wrangler that, we were able to have the best of both worlds, right? Like
Yeah.
I could have my Jeep and I could still take my kids to school.
Yes.
And I could still get groceries.
Yes.
And we could still travel to go on vacation.
Yes.
And then on the weekends, I could take my Jeep and go do my fun things with my girlfriends.
Did you see how Jeff Young made his Jeep?
A third row
yes.
seating. Yeah.
Like, how did he do that? It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's available. It's out there. You might be able to find accessories for that on the vendor Midway.
Well, the vendor Midway is so dynamic, and it's in large part because of you and Paul and all the work you do to make sure that different vendors come from around the country, and sell all kinds of different things. But they don't just sell things. A lot of vendors are out there giving things away, just doing general awareness, educating about their products. Well, I know
I
we
will
have
tell you
vendors
that
from California, and they come from a long way away, and we're kind of on the route to go from the events out west to the events out east. So that's nice that
that is
Toledo's
nice.
strategically located.
Yeah. I am excited to have Real Truck back this year. I know our audience was sad that they didn't make it last year
Yes.
in a full capacity. So it's exciting to have Real Truck back with us this year. I'm excited to have Combat join us. He's got some new products that he just launched, some new doors, some new half doors. Everybody in the Jeep community loves half doors, so have a second option since the stock ones are no longer available.
Yes.
That's going to be fantastic. Let's see.
I know we have a wish list, like Metal Cloak, and are there any others that we should call out and invite to Jeep Fest on this podcast?
So I talk to Metal Cloak every year, and it just doesn't work. Hasn't worked out with their schedule
One of
yet.
these days.
Yeah, I would
We're
love to
playing
have
the
them
long
out.
game.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 10 years.
Right.
We got,
Right. I would love to have them bring their trailer out, their CTI trailer.
Hit the jackpot of summer fun with Hollywood Casino Toledo and check out an appearance on Tuesday, August 4th by Mama Duck. After spending the day at Jeep Fest, keep the excitement going at Hollywood Casino for gaming, entertainment, and fine dining.
So, Keri, if you were someone coming from out of state, planning your trek to Toledo, we've got Monroe Superstore on Thursday. We've got things going on Friday, like Party in the Park. Saturday, the Signature Parade. Sunday, the Run. There's just so much going on for the whole weekend. But if it were you, and knowing your passion for Jeep and things like that, and how much you've curated the vendor Midway, how would you go about planning your weekend, and what would you make sure to hit?
Okay, so if I came in, I would probably most likely come in Thursday. And if I had time, I'd swing by Monroe Superstore to check it out there. But getting into the nitty gritty of the event, I would start with the Glass City Crawlers block party on Friday night. I'd spend a couple hours there. Make sure I stop by the food vendor area, grab some food truck food, because we all love food truck food, on my way to Vendor Midway. And then I'd swing by Vendor Midway. I'm not going to be able to see all of it, but I'm going to head to Party in the Park and check out the concert that's going on there. And there's a drone show that's going on this year, which is going to be
an awesome
absolutely
drone show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So is that going to be in Party, like in Promenade Park? Over
Yeah,
the river?
you'll be able to see it from the
Okay.
vendor Midway and all over, but the
Okay.
best viewing is going to be from Promenade Park.
Okay.
And it's curated to be very Jeepy. The North Star Blue Scope Steel has their 30-year anniversary, and their motto is "We Shine Brighter." So having an amazing drone show and celebrating America 250, it's going to have a patriotic soundtrack. And I don't want to reveal too much, but that's going to be a nice show.
Okay, yeah. So I would definitely, that's kind of how I would do my Friday night. Get to bed early, because I got to be up early for the parade.
Yes.
And then, I'd do the parade, and then I'd hit the rest of the vendor Midway Saturday afternoon. And then I'd head into the Glass City Center when it starts to get warm. And then I would listen to the afternoon speakers and check out the specialty vehicles that are inside the Glass City Center.
Now, for Saturday night, we haven't talked very much about this as Toledo Jeep Fest, but we have a lot of influencers coming into town. We talked about Brad with Trail Recon, who's going to be the Grand Marshal of our parade. But we have some other really cool influencers that are your friends.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to talk about them.
Okay. So Matt and Kara from Ozark Overland Adventures.
Yeah.
I was able to talk them into joining us this year for
Thank
Toledo
you.
Jeep Fest, which I absolutely love. I love hanging out with them. They're great people.
And they're a couple like you guys. So, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and they love all things Jeep, and they love just experiencing experiences, right? Just going and just doing all the things and then sharing that with our audience. So
Yeah.
I'm excited that they're going to join us this year.
Yeah.
So I would be sure to stop by. They're going to be on Vendor Midway for a
Yes.
little while. And I would stop by and visit with them and, check out their vehicles. Their vehicles are very cool. And they'll be right next to Brad. So, if you're checking out the Vendor Midway, make sure to stop by Brad's booth, Trail Recon's booth, and, check out his vehicle and hear about his adventures. They're all great people and they all have great stories. So
Yes.
yeah.
And then do you know the Dirt Road Cred guys?
So I know of them. I
Yeah.
haven't met them in person yet. So yeah, so I'm excited to connect with them a little bit and see what kind of excitement they bring to Saturday night.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
going to bring things to a new level. I'm not sure how many details we can reveal, but they are going to host a pretty cool party on Saturday night that will be an extension of Toledo Jeep Fest. So downtown will shut down the vendor midway and things like that around 5 o'clock, but then an after party will take place courtesy of Dirt Road Cred. But that should be a fun Saturday evening. That will
Yeah.
be new and different for
That'll be
Toledo
new and
Jeep
different.
Fest.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. People can come and again, I think Brad's going to be there and Kara and Matt are going to be there and Jeepers, they just love to get together and they love to talk about their Jeeps. They love to talk about their adventures, where they're
Yes.
going next. And so I think that's going to be a great time Saturday night, being able to do that.
I think so too. What would you do on Sunday?
Well, back in the day, I used to be a runner and I would come and do the run, but I don't run so much anymore.
Me neither.
Yeah. So I would come down and I would finish seeing the rest of the inside of the Glass City Center that I didn't get to finish seeing on Saturday. And then I would do a quick circle around the vendors to see if any of them are offering any end of show specials.
Yeah, it's a good time to shop.
Yeah, it is a good time to shop, especially if you want to really get into an in-depth conversation with someone about their product or whatever, or modifications on your Jeep, because the traffic is a little bit slower on Sunday, so it's a good time to really pick people's brains, and not feel rushed.
And then we have done Toledo Jeep Fest Quest for 1 year, and then this will be the second year we're doing Toledo Jeep Fest Quest, which is designed to get people moving around the vendor midway and some of the brick and mortar downtown. There are different stops as part of this scavenger hunt. Did you hear anything last year about how people like the scavenger hunt and how the vendors responded to that?
Yeah, I had a lot of people excited about getting their little stamps or whatever it was for the weekend. I didn't get to interact with a whole lot of people about it, but the ones that I saw who were collecting their stamps or whatever, they were having fun for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to give people an intro to a conversation with a vendor, and there are lots of nice goodies that you have to give out to be a part of Toledo Jeep Fest Quest. So I think that's going to be a crowd pleaser. We had 1,000 people participate last year, and we're expecting double that this year.
Awesome.
So really excited about Toledo Jeep Fest Quest and happy to get people moving around. One of the things that pains me the most about Jeep Fest participants is ones that say, I got stuck in the kid zone and we were having so much fun. We didn't even move around and see the Wastrong competition, or we didn't get to the Glass City Center, or we never made it really further on the vendor midway than the end cap of St. Clair Street. So if there's much more out there, then you can plan your day to move around and see all the things. And I think Toledo Jeep Fest Quest gets you moving around.
Yeah, if you have kids with you and you get stuck in the kid zones, there's 2 areas that you can take your kids to have a grand old time, right? Then use Sunday to go back and visit all the vendors.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're consumed by kids fun on Saturday, then Sunday is your time to go and talk to all the vendors for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So wrapping it up, I mean, there are some rules of the road, if you will, for the staging area. And so for the over 1,000 people that end up driving their Jeep into the parade staging area, are there a few things that people should keep in mind? I mean, they need to have their ticket.
Yeah, have your ticket ready. So when you get checked in, it's fast, it's smooth. You're not slowing traffic down. If you want to be with your friend, you need to arrive together with your friend. If you have a club that you're wanting to all ride in the parade together with, show up together.
Yes.
In a group.
And you do a good job of keeping them together.
We do. We try really hard to keep them together as much as we can. And if you get parked a little bit separated, we try to accommodate for that when we are filing you out, going into the parade. So, but if you arrive together in one group, then that's just the easiest way for us to be able to keep you together.
Right.
Just be considerate of everybody around you when you're playing your music. Jeep Fest is a family-friendly event.
Right.
So, we don't want music that's got foul language,
Right.
blaring. And like, if you want to play your music, that's fine, but don't make it so loud that we can't instruct people.
Yes.
We're really trying to do a job, and we don't have microphones, we don't have megaphones. It's just us and our little voices. So
Yeah.
we love music. Everybody loves music. Just be mindful that you're not the only person.
Yeah. Well, again, like I just want to stress how big of a task it is to organize the parade staging area and then have all the parade vehicles go on time and in an orderly fashion, and then to create a massive vendor midway. I mean, you and Paul do a lot of the heavy lifting of making sure Toledo Jeep Fest is a great experience for 100,000 people to come to and attend. So thanks so much for all you do to make that happen.
Yeah, no problem. We love being a part of it.
Yeah, well, we love
great
having
fun.
you, and
Thank
you've
you.
been here since the beginning, and so your friendship and having you a part of the team means a lot.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for talking to me on Behind the Wheel today, and we'll see you at Jeep Fest.
Yeah, sounds good. See you there.
Our official Momentum partner is Toledo Refining Company, fueling Northwest Ohio for more than 130 years, as Jeep celebrates its 85th year right here in Toledo. See you next episode.